But yes, I still love LA. It's baseball season.
Ooh.
I do have Randy Newman on my body, which
Wait.
okay, hold on. Let me
Wait.
back up. No, you don't have to
Is
wait.
that...
We already know what I said, and it came out very weird.
Hold on.
Yes.
I'm sorry, Lauren. Lauren is Adam's wife. I'm really sorry, but he has Randy on his body. And not you. So
since it is now back to being baseball season, I needed to represent with Randy on top of me, as I just said before.
Jeez, Adam, how many more times do we need to talk about Randy Newman on top of your body?
I don't know. Apparently, maybe that's going to be the name of this episode.
Randy Newman.
I just named this episode. Randy Newman is on top of my body.
Welcome back to our third episode of Just Jew and Me.
How's it going?
I am so happy to be back. You know, I have withdrawals when I'm not with you, Adam.
I don't. Not when I'm with you.
What?
It's kind of nice. It's just very... I get in here, we have our banter, and I feel good on the way out.
It's like the gym?
Kind of. It's therapy, isn't it?
Well, do you feel like a workout, like a cardio workout when you're with me?
Yeah, it's a lot. Oh, no, I'm joking. I love you, Donna. I love being with you. I look forward to these days.
Now, you told me that your young daughters watched us on YouTube for a little bit.
Yes.
And then you told me that they changed the channel and turned on Bluey.
Well, okay. There are a lot of things there. First of all, Bluey is fucking awesome. Okay, I don't know. You may have missed the Bluey train.
Yeah, we were more of the Paw Patrol.
Right. Well, we had that, but then Bluey is awesome. So I have no issue with them changing us to Bluey. But again, one is 9, one is 5. The 9-year-old could have stuck around a little longer. The 5-year-old's like, fuck this. Give me some Bluey.
Do we have to be more kid-friendly?
I really don't want to. I just said, fuck this. Like, how are we going to be... Is that... Wait, hold on.
Yeah.
That's kid-friendly, that dance?
Yeah.
That is okay. Oh, good Lord.
This is how I get the kids involved. Like Miss Rachel, you know? Our favorite Jew lover, Miss Rachel. She loves us.
See? This is why I said there's a lot when I'm in here.
Is there a version of Miss Rachel for Jews?
You would think Rachel, with the name being so biblical
Rachel.
and so, Old Testament.
No, but seriously, there's got to be... No, this is actually totally a side moment.
Okay.
When I was a kid, my mom used to, I guess, would rent VHSs. I have no idea how we would get these. But it was called Rehov Sesame. It was Sesame Street in Israel, in Hebrew.
Okay. Were the same characters, or was it...
They had like a variety. It wasn't all Oscar, the Grouch, and Big Bird, but I think they did have like some of them speaking Hebrew.
Okay.
Now, remember, we were not Hebrew speakers in our house.
No.
But we were watching Rehov Sesame. And this was a little bit in LA when we were just growing up. But we would watch it also when we would go to Israel in the summertime. And we would turn it on. And it was so cute.
Did you watch it and Sesame Street as well? Or
we were, of course, Sesame Street watchers. But, like, how cute is that? Maybe we should... I bet you could find it on YouTube.
Or on one of the streaming services. Maybe it's on Peacock.
Rehov Sesame is on Peacock?
Who knows? Maybe NBC Universal owns... I can't say it.
Try.
No.
You can't do the huh?
Rehov?
Yeah. Can you cover the mic next time to block it from the huh?
Everybody who's using this mic after me needs to get that. Rehov.
There you go. You mastered the huh.
Thank you.
So what's going on with you?
Nothing. No, nothing. Everything.
I love your shirt.
Oh, yes. Ooh.
Tell me all about it. Randy Newman, I love LA. So do you still love LA? You're the only one left.
Of course I love LA. Born and raised. Gotta love LA.
So am I. And everyone keeps saying, like, how is LA doing? Because obviously we've had a tough year.
Yeah, no, it's been a shitty year. And I have a lot of friends that were affected by the fire and have to move out of the city. But what I will say is that there are people that are, the people that I know are very eager to get back here because they do like Los Angeles.
Did people leave LA because of the fires? You have friends that actually left the city?
Well, their house burned down.
And they didn't rent somewhere else. They left the city.
My friends, the ones I'm particularly talking about, have a good family that live up north. They have younger kids that they didn't have to go to elementary school. It was a preschool situation. So they had the opportunity to do that, and they can work from home for their jobs. So they're waiting to move back during summer because their kid starts in kindergarten.
Makes sense.
So for them, it's fine. But yes, I still love LA. It's baseball season. I do have Randy Newman on my body. Which
wait.
Okay, hold on. Let me
Wait.
back up. No, you don't have to
Is
wait.
that-
We already know what I said, and it came out very weird.
Hold on. I'm
Yes.
sorry. I'm sorry, Lauren. Lauren is Adam's wife. I'm really sorry, but he has Randy on his body,
I do have Randy on my body.
and not you. So
Yes, Randy Newman.
why is this? Because I love LA. It's
Yes.
a Dodgers reference, and we're in the beginning
it's-
of baseball season.
It's Dodgers, Lakers, any LA sports. I love LA, such a big song. But yes, I got this shirt right after the 2024 Dodgers won the World Series. And since it is now back to being baseball season, I needed to represent with Randy on top of me, as I just said before.
Jeez, Adam, how many more times do we need to talk about Randy Newman on top of your body?
I don't know. Apparently, maybe that's going to be the name of this episode.
Randy Newman's
I
on
just
top of
named this episode. Randy Newman is on top of my body.
Put it in the notes, producer.
Yes.
That's not here. So what? Okay, Lance, put it in the notes. Lance needs a little credit for this episode. Lance Bowling. So, question for you, Adam, about baseball. Are we looking good this season?
Like you wouldn't believe.
Really?
Yeah, of course. I mean, people hate the Dodgers who don't live in Los Angeles and are not Dodger fan because they hate the fact that we have every single really good player, not every single one, but very good players, and we purchased a lot of them, if you will, and a lot of people love to be in Los Angeles. So yeah, a lot of people do love LA because if they want to come and play baseball, they come for the LA Dodgers. I know, by the way, this is killing your husband, Lance, because he's a Cubs fan.
Yeah.
Although the Cubs do look pretty good too.
Didn't they play in Tokyo?
They did. They lost
At
both
3
games.
a.m.
And they
LA
lost-
time.
And they lost both games to Dodgers. Not that anyone's
How you feeling about that, Lance?
Not great.
not great. But we are looking good. And I'm very excited because now I have even more ways to ignore my family and just watch sports.
Oh, good. So not only do you want a man on top of you, sorry, Lauren,
Yes.
but you also want to ignore your family. Really great co-host choice of mine. I thought this was a family show.
This is the first 5 minutes of this episode, too.
Yeah,
We've already
I
gone
mean-
through a lot here.
You're really showing true colors. Everyone's like, oh, that Adam seems like such a mensch.
I am. I love you, Lauren. I don't want another man on top of me. I love spending time with you. But I also love the music of Randy Newman, and I also love baseball.
And Chicago. You love the music of Chicago. Adam's dream is for us all to go to a Chicago concert at the Hollywood Bowl.
Yes, not the musical Chicago, which is also a good musical.
Do you know where Chicago takes place? The musical.
In Chicago?
Be more specific.
In Chicago?
What in Chicago?
Illinois.
What part of, like, inside of Chicago, where are they in Chicago for the majority of that musical?
Wiener Circle?
It's in a jail.
Okay.
The entire musical
Yes.
takes place in a jail.
Okay.
Did you know that?
I mean, I've seen it. I guess I never really paid attention that it was all in a jail, but
There you go. It's in a
Okay.
jail. Found
Okay.
that out in a
Cook County
TikTok.
Jail.
What?
Cook County Jail.
Cook County Jail. We found that out from a TikTok. Thank you, Cousin Alan. It's gone viral. This is Dylan's new obsession, Chicago. So we've been watching it now.
interesting.
It's a great musical.
Oh, you've been watching the movie?
Yeah, the
good.
Catherine Zeta-Jones,
Yeah,
Renee
yeah.
Zellweger.
Oh, very good.
Where did Catherine Zeta-Jones go? Speaking of Jews, Israel, Michael
Yes.
Douglas and Catherine Zeta-Jones, because Michael Douglas was I would imagine, a huge Israel lover. In fact, I want to say, like, didn't he bring his son to, like, bar mitzvah in Israel? Like, I remember these stories
Okay.
kind of happening years ago.
Okay.
Where have they gone? They kind of fell off.
Well, I don't. What's his age at this point? I feel like it
I feel
could
like
be
he's pretty up there.
Yeah, it could be like a.
Lance, can we do a Google search on Michael Douglas real fast?
My guess is that he's just too old to make appearances at this point. Kind of like before he passed, Gene Hackman was kind of nowhere to be found. He was not doing a bunch of stuff.
Gene Hackman, we would see him randomly walking on the streets, like in that
80 years old.
80.
All right.
And Catherine Zeta-Jones is probably 60.
Yeah, but that's not too old to be out there. And
No,
doing
she's
stuff.
kicking. She's gorgeous. Anyway, that's a great movie. Side note.
Side note, but let's bring it back to the band Chicago.
Oh yeah, the real
Okay.
one.
They're
Favorite
at
Chicago song,
They're
go.
hold on. They're playing at the Hollywood Bowl.
Okay.
I believe at the end of sometime around. Actually, it's not 4th of July. Sometime in September. We're going.
Okay.
And we'll talk about it on this podcast.
Okay, riveting.
Yes.
Riveting content for the Just Jew and Me crowd. I'm sure they can't wait. They're setting their calendars right now.
I'm sure Foot Guy is very excited for the Chicago show.
Did Foot Guy listen to the episode about him?
I haven't. I texted him and he didn't text me back. So he may have watched. He may have listened or watched it and then said, "You know what? I don't want you to be my son anymore. I'm not listening to this."
My mom was like, "I listened to your podcast. You look so cute." I was like, "Well, you mean you watched the podcast?" She's like, "No, I listened to it." I was like, "But how did you know how I looked?" And she's like, "I saw it on YouTube." I'm like, "So you watched the podcast?" But no, it's a podcast. I listened to it. Mom, it's YouTube. She's like, "But I thought it was a podcast." It's very confusing. It's a multimedia situation. It's all of the things. By the way, have your friends liked the podcast?
Yeah. I've gotten some really good receptions. I get notes, which, these are like one of those things. It's like, and I feel like that's a very Jewish forward thing to do, is to just unfiltered, just give someone notes.
Oh yeah,
even though
you
they
don't
didn't
ask
for it. Some of the notes cool, some of the notes go fuck yourself. But no, the reception's been really good. I've been not just talking to my friends, but talking to other people that friends of friends, people in the Jewish community. And people seem to be enjoying it. People like the banter and they like the things that we've been talking about.
Yeah.
What about you?
Also the same. I've gotten a lot of people that listen to it are like, "Oh my gosh, I feel like it's so relatable because everything you talk about I can relate to." That's the thing about Jews. And I say that very confidently because I would imagine 97% of our audience right now are Jewish. That the one thing about listening to other Jews is that you can really say, like, "I know. I feel it. I can connect to that." Like, right. Yeah, same here. Yes, exactly. There's something very nice about that.
Well, I think a lot of it is, we like when we talk about last week, when we talked about raising our kids and how we were raised, a lot of people are trying to figure that out themselves, how they want to raise their kids from a Jewish perspective.
Yeah, don't trust us, though.
No, I say trust us.
You trust Adam, not me.
Why? You're doing a great job.
Bang up job.
Wait, hold on. I want to go back for a sec. Who are the 3% of people who are listening to our podcast who are not Jewish? You said 97.
Well, there's
Who's the 3?
There's one Hindu.
Okay.
There's 2 atheists.
Okay.
And 4 Scientologists.
Awesome. Well, I welcome all. That was 7 or 6?
There's a few.
Okay.
The math is a little funky.
And some of them were miscellaneous.
Choose not to say.
Okay, that's good.
I've done a lot of polling.
You got a lot of analytics going here.
Listen, I'm very busy.
Apparently so. Well, we welcome you all.
We are all denominations. We don't ask for donations.
Yet.
GoFundMe, none of that.
Yet.
But by the way, speaking of.
Oh, God. Yes.
With all the money that we're not making with this podcast.
Oh, it's great.
Seems like you have a lot of money because you're getting new ink, which I didn't realize. By the way, I didn't realize. Let's talk about this whole misnomer about Jews getting tattoos.
Yes.
Of all of my Jewish friends getting tattoos, you're the last person I would have ever thought would do it. And meanwhile, in the last year, you've gotten 2.
Yes.
And you just got a new one this week.
Yes. So the first one I got was my daughter's names.
Okay.
Because they are near and dear to me. I wanted to make sure I
remember them.
Yes, actually it is. It's kind of here.
Well, in case you know, after you leave Lauren for Randy Newman, you may have more daughters.
And then
so
I can
you just
want
you just add to them.
Yeah, of course.
You're like, that's marriage number 1 with Randy Newman.
Wait, me and Randy are already adopting?
You never know.
Okay.
I'm watching Modern Family right now with my family. Like, there's always a world out there. Where
I like that you're planning my future for me.
With Randy Newman, it could be a great life.
I don't. Maybe it is. I'm sure he gets a lot of residuals from "You've Got a Friend in Me."
Oh, that's a good one.
See? But yes, I got my second one this week.
Yeah.
And it is a Star of David, so I'll show it right here.
Move up an inch.
Can I see it? Can you see it, producer?
Can you make a muscle? Because you need to make it bigger.
No, I can't.
It's strong.
I can't.
No, come on, Adam.
Here's the thing.
You got to take Adam back to the gym. Adam, he needs to go back to the gym. What? Come on.
On my pale, non-molded,
it's beautiful.
Non-molded muscle bicep. Yeah. This is where I put it.
So what? Okay, let me ask you a question. Number one placement. Why there?
So for a couple reasons. One is that I kind of, since I got one on this arm, I wanted one on this arm.
So that you're even.
So I have that kind of, yes, that even.
That way you don't topple over.
Topple over. It's a lot of ink. Two, I don't know. I just wanted it somewhere where it is somewhat visible, where it wasn't like going to be invisible. And I think we could talk about that. But I like it there because it is kind of close to my heart, even when I do this. There was a lot of kind of thinking that went into where it was. And I talked to my wife, Lauren, about it. She was definitely cool with this. Talked to the tattoo artist. We all came to an agreement that this was a good place for it.
She was cool with it. So did you have to ask permission?
No, I said, listen here, woman. I never spoke that way. I never speak that way to my wife. Only in a joking manner.
Sit down. I'm telling you where I'm getting my tattoo.
Getting the Star of David. It's not permission. It's basically, I think it was more of like, I really want to get another tattoo. I want to get a Star of David. Help me figure out where to put it.
And she first suggested your nether region.
She did. She did. But I said, that's a little weird because it's a symbol of Judaism, and I don't think the nether region, as you just called it weirdly, is where it should go.
Yeah, I'm with you.
So
I just know that that's what she said.
Yes, that's what she said. Good job. Yeah. So basically she gave me two ideas. She said either right here on my chest, or here where we ended up doing it. The problem is, and I know you're all going to be surprised with this.
I'm so scared.
Is that I am a hairy individual. Okay.
Oh, here we go. Here we're going there.
I have the Eastern European Jewish descent of just. I mean, I'm a bear. I'm a fucking grizzly bear. Maybe if at some point, if we have a drinking episode, you'll see it. You ain't seen it today.
What do you mean? When you drink, you just get naked?
Oh, of course.
You've drank at our house and you've never done that.
We didn't drink the right stuff, apparently.
What gets you naked?
Well, I'll tell you after the show. No, and really, if you do it here, where there's just bushel, it's
do you wax?
Gonna see it. I trim. Wax.
Kelly Clarkson.
Oh yeah, I'm not. No, there's no 40-year-old virgin coming on that. I would cry.
So do you take scissors to you or
scissors?
How do men trim? You take a
yeah, it's like a
razor.
Clippers, like
your hair.
Yeah. Yes.
And how often are you trimming your chest hair?
How did it come into this?
I know.
Well, we were talking about my tattoo.
I don't remember me bringing it up.
That's true. It is my fault.
Again, I'm going to get blamed on everything you do.
Yes, it was your fault.
So you didn't put your Jewish star hidden behind the bushel.
Yeah. Although if I shaved it, there it appears.
It's like
and then it disappears. It's like Homer Simpson going into the bush. It's just much slower because it just waits till my body hair grows out.
It depends if you feel safe or not to be Jewish that day. Like, at which pool are you going to? Is it a public pool or is it a private pool?
Private pool.
Are you in Boca Raton or are you in a different area, a different region of America? Oh my God, that's crazy. But yes, putting a Jewish star on your body is like a permanent place to say, hey, here I am.
Yes, and I think I've always wanted tattoos, not that many, but I've wanted tattoos. The Jewish star one is something that is fairly new of what I wanted. I mean, mostly because there's so much, again, stuff going on, and I wanted to have that feeling proud of being Jewish. And to me, I didn't want to just say, I didn't want to hide. I didn't want to be this type of person who's like, I can't show off being Jewish. I can't tell people I'm Jewish.
I know.
And rather than, and I'm not saying this is bad because you do it. You wear jewelry, you do all this stuff. For me, I wanted to do this.
I love
it. And I think you should get one as well.
Honestly, if I ever got a tattoo, I would definitely do something symbolic to my family or that. 100%.
In your nether regions.
Duh.
Okay. I just wanted to use the word nether regions again.
Yeah, I mean, I'm surprised we're not saying perineum, because if you're watching Daily Dose of Donna, that's a word that comes up often since Ryan Reynolds likes to use the word perineum. Do you know what that perineum is? Just making sure.
I have heard you say it before.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
On my podcast?
On the Daily Dose of Donna.
Yeah. Okay, so what is it?
I don't know. I've heard you use it.
Lance, what's the perineum?
Taint.
It's your taint.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yes. And
Is that the technical term for it?
it's the area between your private and your private. Okay. And Ryan Reynolds uses it in sentence. Like he likes to throw that in there. It's funny to him. So let's say about like the idea of being Jewish and publicly talking about or showing your Judaism. And I think it's kind of interesting because it was never something we ever hid.
Yeah.
And then obviously, since obviously October 7th, it's important to kind of like bring that up. And I think it's actually an important thing because I've gone through stages with it, right? It depends on the day, depends on the I guess the phase of where we are in the world. Now I'm out. Like it's almost like coming out of the closet. It's like
right.
Now I'm out. You kind of can't go back in once you're out. But I still question it every time I talk about it, especially like on TikTok or my YouTube show. I've talked about it so much already in my podcast that I think people would be shocked if they came in and they were, today, for example, or on my show, I'm wearing a Jewish star and I even point to it if it ever comes up and I'm talking about something. I've never ever shied around about it, but I always think about what if this is someone's first time tuning into the show?
Right.
Or what if this is someone's, TikTok is all about discoverability. So just say I mentioned something on TikTok and someone is following me or finds me because I'm talking about Bravo or Blake Lively and they're like, I love her content. Oh, she's Jewish. Can't follow her. And I get really worried about that. And then one person told me in my DMs once when I started to get a lot of hate for just not even talking about the war, not even talking about anti-Semitism, just being Jewish. Someone said, well, isn't that kind of a good way to weed people out? Like, do you really even want people that don't follow you because you're wearing a Jewish star? Is that something you even want in your life? And that is a great way to look at it. Like putting it out on your arm for permanent there, it's almost a good way to say like, hey, this is who I am front and center. If you don't like it, don't even get to know me.
Yeah.
No,
I definitely agree. I think the only thing that stops me and makes me think a little bit more about even when I put this on and I don't want to say advertising that I'm Jewish, but talking about that I'm Jewish is only the safety of my children. I don't necessarily, I care about the safety of myself, obviously, but I feel like I know how to talk to people. I know how to defend myself. I know how to...
Show me. Do some Krav Maga right now.
I do not know Krav Maga.
What would you do to defend yourself physically right now in a room if, God forbid...
I would kick you right in the nuts.
Really?
Yes.
Is that the move?
Sure.
Straight to the nuts.
I'll kick you right in the nuts right now.
My nuts are not here.
Where'd you put them?
I put them at home. I left them at home.
See, that's smart, but that's being too safe. Whatever. What we're even talking about anymore.
I left my nuts at home. Wait, okay, so you feel confident yourself. You're saying if you're with your kids.
Yeah, that's the part where I get a little scared, right? Because I don't necessarily want to put them in harm's way.
Yeah.
Not even necessary. I don't want to put them in harm's way. And I don't try to, I'm not spouting from the rooftops, doing this kind of stuff. But it gets a little scary when you think about when you have children and you want them to be safe. Mm-hmm. Do you put out there that you are Jewish? Not that, again, we're just going out saying I'm a Jew. But when you do a podcast like this, and if there's an audience that comes along with it, some of the audience members may be negative, and it gets a little scary. Mm-hmm. So there's definitely that part that I want to make sure that my family is safe. And I have these discussions with my wife, Lauren, all the time. We talk about our safety, and how we feel as Jews. But at the end of the day, we are Jewish. And a lot of the things that we associate our lives with, whether it is sending our kids to Sunday school, belonging to a synagogue, celebrating Shabbat, celebrating Passover's coming up, doing these things, I don't want to be private about it.
Yeah.
I want to post stuff. I want to do stuff. I'm not ramming this down your throat saying everybody needs to be Jewish.
No, of course
but
not.
I want to be that person who advocates for other Jews and for being Jewish.
Sure. Yeah, it's definitely a fear, of course. Like, I don't think about it in my day to day. I don't think about it when I'm just going to school or driving around town, LA, or like going to the market or my gym. Like, I don't think about it like that. Although sometimes at my gym, I do think about it. Like the other day, I was at my gym and I happened to one of the women there was wearing a shirt that said Tikkun Olam. And I was like, oh, nice shirt. And she's like, oh, thanks. And we actually connected because she just spoke at a Jewish women's conference.
Okay.
And she's a filmmaker. And I was like, you got to come on this podcast.
Yeah.
And then another guy there happens to be a husband of one of my friends that goes to our school, is a friend of ours, also a Jew. And then another guy there is a Jew who's a casting director, also works in the Disney World, where I used to work. So we had our little like crew,
Right.
our little Jew crew, and we just like all kind of hung out and talked. And we were like, we could build an army. Well, we kind of need to build an army. Like, we were laughing about
Right.
it. And I was looking around. There's like 25 other people in the workout, and I'm thinking like, there definitely is someone in here that probably hates us. Like, you don't know. You can look around and you think everyone's nice and sweet, but you don't know. We're openly talking about being Jewish. We don't know half the people in this room.
It's true.
But I don't think about it so much in our normal day to day. But when you go to a Dodger game, right? When you go to a concert, when you go to out of your normal little like circles, bubble, because where we live in the valley, there's so many Jews.
Right.
Like, it's not like it's a Jewish community, but there's so many that it's not strange to be around Jews. But I always think about when you're in other cities or whatever, and there's a lot of alcohol, and I don't know, you always just think, what if someone it's the wrong place at the wrong time with the wrong person? My mom says that, she wears a Magen David around her neck, and she says sometimes when she goes to places, she just goes like this. She just covers it.
Yep.
And just goes like this. She goes, look, I'm a 75-year-old woman. Like, what am I going to do?
And I get that. I totally do. And I think when you see, your example of being at the gym is interesting, because I think even though we live in a very liberal city like Los Angeles, there are a shit ton of Jews. When you think about the population of Jewish people and the population of this city, when it comes to Jewish people, there are a lot. I think a lot of times what you brought up when you said different cities. So I'm not as scared if I'm at a Dodger game, because I know if somebody's there who there's like Jews or whatever it is, there are enough people there who are either Jewish or allies. Other cities, and I think, there are people, probably even people that are watching this podcast or listening, depending on what your mother does. They don't live in cities that are highly populated with Jews, and they become a little bit more closeted with their Jewish pride or their, the way they want to express their Judaism. And that's really what I get sad for, because especially since October 7th, whether they were doing it before, expressing themselves before, I think now it becomes even more of a conflict for a lot of people, because they could live in cities where, there are very few Jews. Yeah. And there are people who live in those cities who don't understand. And it may not even be because of the conflict that's going on. It could just be because people are anti-Semitic. And I just think we have it good from where we are. Yes, again, we live in a very liberal city where you could have people who are very much anti-Israel, anti-Jew, but there are a lot of people who live in cities that don't have many Jewish allies, and that's who I get scared for. I really do.
I know. That's why it's nice to have, online communities and just like places that you can kind of be a little bit more open online. But I always think the last place we need to do is go backwards to the place of being scared and hiding it. That's why when everyone in the beginning, the early days, everyone's like, take your mezuzahs off your door. It's like, I will never take my mezuzah off my door. And I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
For some reason, taking a mezuzah off the door was me giving in to like Holocaust days. Like I couldn't do it. I could not do it.
Yeah, but here's the thing, I get that. I don't want to shame people that do it.
No.
Because I think,
Everyone
again,
is allowed to do whatever they feel
everybody
comfortable.
has what they're comfortable with.
And if I didn't have a husband at home, maybe things would be
right,
different.
you may have done something different.
Yeah.
I think you can kick your husband's ass, by the way.
You think I could kick Lance's ass? Yeah, I'm with you. Should we try? Do you know Krav
shit.
Maga, Lance?
Let's do it.
Do you remember Lance is in the room?
Oh, my bad. Sorry, Lance.
Do you should we remind you of when you guys worked out together and you pulled a muscle?
And I got tennis elbow from not playing tennis, and I was
from
out.
one workout?
No, it was 3.
It was
3. I have the receipts. Okay, God damn it.
Lance, how long was Adam out of commission after one workout?
Months.
Months, yes, probably half a year, to be honest with you. I had to go to PT for that goddamn thing. Anyway.
I actually need a good PT person for a Jewish family member who constantly has knee pain. My son. Okay, wait, let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Speaking of, just being proud of being Jewish and kind of like being out there and stuff, we were talking right before we started the show about, celebrities that have been open about it just because. So it's been kind of like a hit and miss, right? We've had like people that have been open.
Yeah.
Really open. Mm-hmm. Debra Messing from Will and Grace.
Yes.
She was on, she's been a very, very, very loud advocate since October 7th.
She just came out with this documentary.
October 8th.
Yes.
Which I still haven't seen.
I know. I really want to see it.
And they just extended.
I know. We should go see it. Go to the theater.
We really should.
Yeah.
Okay, so everyone tells me it's amazing. I feel like I've seen so much of the footage because I've been so on top of all of the Columbia University craziness.
Oh, you have? I haven't received any text from you regarding Columbia University.
None of you guys respond.
Because we're sick of it.
I know.
It's okay. Continue.
I know. I get a little obsessive. I always ask Lance, I'm like, are you seeing this? And he's like, no. Are you seeing this? He's like, I don't see any of that. I'm like, oh, my feed, I had to stop. I had to almost unfollow a lot of things because I was getting crazy over inundated.
See? Therapy.
It was too much. But so Debra Messing, but this is interesting. It was actually really depressing. Debra Messing, I've known her as this amazing Jewish advocate in the last 15, 16 months. But she was on Watch What Happens Live, which was like collision of my worlds, right? So I cover all these Bravo shows. And it's been Andy Cohen, of course, is like top notch at top head honcho or whatever at Bravo.
Yep.
And he's the host of Watch What Happens Live. And he's Jewish. Mm-hmm. And he has been outspoken to an extent in a very politically correct way about everything, but not so much. Like he spoke at a Jewish event once and he's spoken about the female hostages a little bit, but he's not like a consistent, right? But I still appreciate what he's done. And he had Debra Messing, he's had Michael Rapaport on his show before.
Yeah. Big advocate.
Beyond, but gets a lot of hate. Well, they all do. And Debra Messing was on his show last week, not promoting October 8th. And I don't know what she was promoting. Maybe she has another project in the works. I was disheartened. Every comment was about...
Oh, really?
Every comment was about genocide, was the watermelon, was terrorist,
Comments on what?
On the Watch What Happens Live reels about it.
Okay.
It was crazy. It was... I couldn't believe how bad it was.
See, this is why, and we were talking about this before, like you said, do people feel, and celebrities feel comfortable? Now, this is what happens, and I'm not saying that either way, should it shy people away from talking about it, shouldn't it, whatnot. But let's be a little realistic here. I think talking about it is good. I think being an advocate for the hostages, I think being an advocate for being Jewish is good. you, no matter what, are going to receive that kind of hate. Now, can these celebrities, one, endure the hate and emotionally be okay with it, and two, endure the hate and still think their career is going to be viable after all the hate? I honestly, I don't know. It's hard to tell, because this could all be a very vocal minority. When you think about this country, who do they really support, or do they even care? That's number one. Number two are the people who are throwing up the watermelons, talking about fake genocide, basically saying, are they the minority, and they're just very, very loud about it. So it's really hard to tell how that is, and if it will affect their career. So I don't know if I have a right answer about like how much people should be speaking out, how much people shouldn't be speaking out about it. It's a scary world if you're Jewish and you're in the spotlight and you have a platform. Should you speak out about it? Yeah, probably. But to what extent?
Well, all I know is that to this day, Amy Schumer cannot do anything in the public without getting massively attacked because of how she spoke out so soon after October 7th. And I'll never forget that about Amy Schumer. No matter what Amy Schumer does from here until the end of her life, I will never forget how fast she came to the defense of Jews in Israel. I'll never forget it. Because she came, I think she was one of the first.
Yeah, I think.
And loud.
Right, and 100%. But I think, and I hate to say this, but it could also be because she's female, right? So part of it, I think, could be, there's always kind of that disproportionate hate online. And then even if it's hate online, it could make its way into somebody's career. I think women in general get the hate more, and their careers get affected more by it as well. So it could be that as well, in terms of just, did she rub people the wrong way with that? And because she's female, does it add another layer to it that people are hating on her for stupid fucking reasons that they shouldn't? I don't know. Again, it's really hard. There are people like Michael Rapaport who just doesn't give a shit. He's actually now made a career about talking shit, right? He's an actor. He was getting steady jobs. He started this career of podcasting with fantasy football mostly, and basketball, and he would talk shit about everything. Then he would talk shit about Donald Trump. Then when all this happened, he would talk shit about everything that was anti-Jew. And I think for him, that is now his career, and he's fine with it. He has made his career into
and now he's
advocate.
pro-Trump
I know,
because of this. That's the craziest turn.
Everything is turned fucking upside down.
Everything.
But I'm saying for him, he has just made his hate into a career, which is great. But again, not everyone can do that. And when you look at like a personality like Michael Rapaport and a personality like Debra Messing, Debra Messing's not going to sit there and talk shit about everybody. No. Not going to argue and laugh. And
no, she comes from a place of like, empathy and trying to support the hostages, and coming from a place of, love.
But I think there's room for both of those, right? I think you need someone like Rapaport to say, fuck you. Like, this is who I am. This is what I believe in. And if you don't like it, go fuck yourself. And he'll still get all this hate. But you need someone like Debra Messing, who is very empathetic, like you said, right? Very much somebody who cares. And I'm sure Michael Rapaport does too, but the way that Debra Messing expresses herself, I think has just been fantastic.
And then you also have people like Jerry Seinfeld, right? Yes. Who make jokes out of it all and make people laugh. And the fact that people would ever think someone like Jerry Seinfeld wouldn't speak out as a Jew, this is the craziest part about it, is that when people are shocked that Jews are speaking out about being Jewish, like, people are always getting into my DMs, just even yesterday. Mm-hmm. And the fact that I even entertain this sometimes is beyond me, right? Because just even yesterday, some woman who's never been to Israel, who's never been to Gaza, who's not Jewish, who's not, I think she's French. I mean, I don't even know where she lives. She's in Toronto. But has taken it upon her to teach me that there's a genocide happening.
Right.
And that Israel is is the worst thing in the world, right?
Right.
And she's sure that I'm brainwashed and we're oppressors, right? Like, she has taken it upon me to teach me what's going on. And she's like, I don't know if you're seeing the truth, so I'm here to teach you, Donna.
Right.
And I'm like, I appreciate that you think that. And it's very possible. You're not going to change my mind, though. I'm just going to be honest with you. Like, I think it's really rich of you to come into a Jew's DMs, especially one whose family is Israeli, and tell me what to believe. Like, I'm not going to go into yours. Let's like, just let it be right now. No, you have to see this. You have to see this. No, you're wrong. You're wrong. And she's sending me the craziest, like, biased videos I've ever seen in my life. And this is the thing. We have to allow for everyone to stand up for what they believe in.
Yes.
And Jews will stand up for their own, and some don't, right?
Yep.
There's a lot of Jews out there that have crossed over.
Yep.
And said, it's not worth it. Whether it's not worth it, they want to go with the more popular online route. Maybe they're scared of getting shunned in the community. Maybe they actually just don't have any identity.
Right. And
connection.
I think that's part of it too.
Like, there's a lot of them, right? There's the Deborah Winger just came out and said, I'm devastated to be a Jew. Or
Did she?
yeah, something like, I'm embarrassed about my Judaism. Hannah Einbinder, who grew up, I think,
Right.
going to like Jewish summer camp type of Jew, who is saying this is a genocide. Like, horrible, those kinds of.
The guy who won the Oscar.
Oh, the No Other Land.
Well, that doesn't make sense, but that's just, that's the ultimate, obviously.
Oh my God.
Oh, God.
And that whole story is crazy this week.
Yeah.
Especially considering it's all bullshit.
Well, they were agitators.
They were agitators. They were the Oscar winners of No Other Land are the biggest liars.
Yeah.
Because there's video of them throwing rocks at the Israeli settlers, and then they put up the cameras.
Yeah.
And then they're like, they're mean to us.
Yeah, of course. They agitated.
It's like my kids. Well, if you kick him, he'll kick you back, you ass. Listen, I'm not saying Israel's perfect by any means. And
Right.
this is not I'm not a historian. And I definitely, my stepdad, who we should get on this podcast because he's an Israeli author. He's a colonel in the army. Like, he knows his shit. He'll be the first to tell you Israel's not perfect. Like, Israel's not perfect in any way.
Can we get your stepdad and the foot guy on the same episode?
To battle it out?
Yes.
Okay. I wonder what they would talk about.
He has an accent. He's Israeli, so it would be very funny with my dad. My dad can't hear anymore, so it's just going to be a lot of like trying to understand your stepdad's accent.
What?
And he's like, "What?" It just wouldn't. It would be 50 minutes of I need to change this.
And then I would just leave.
Yeah, and just have them just a bunch of
Lance,
same question.
You
over
got
and
that
over.
one? So, but like, of course they're not perfect. But in America, it's not perfect. In
Right.
Canada, it's not perfect. Of course it's not perfect. The question is like values and morals and what are we fighting for here? So the point is, as a Jew, if you have a big career, it's scary to stand up and say, I'm standing up for what's right or what's wrong. Or, at the end of the day, we still have American hostages. Like, what?
Yeah, which is what brings us back to what we said last week with Bruce Pearl.
Yes.
Out there advocating for an American hostage that is still there, but no one seems to give a shit about except for Jews.
Can you imagine if you were his mom? Like, what would you do if you were Eden Alexander's mom right now? Like, you would be so devastated with America. You'd be like, who are these people?
I would hope that she surrounds herself with a bunch of people that care about it and drowns all that other shit out. But it's really tough.
It's got to make
really
you lose
tough.
faith in your country. Do they live in America, I wonder, or they live in Israel? They must live
I think
in Israel.
one of them, I think he lives in Israel, or the hostage lives in Israel. But I think the parents live in the United States. Mm-hmm. I believe. I could be wrong.
Now, this is kind of like, it's not on our like conversation list of whatever to talk about today, but what do you think, if you had to guess, how long do you think this wave is going to last of people hating Israel and the Jews?
People hating Israel is never going to stop. So you could forget that. No, people have always hated Israel.
But it's really crazy right now.
It's definitely crazy. But there's always been a conflict, right? So there's always been something. And because we're Jewish, there's always something. I think The better question is the intensity of it. When is that going to die down? Now,
we need another country to really mess up.
but even if that happens,
It keeps coming back to us.
Yeah, it'll always come back.
Aren't
to
there
us.
other countries actually committing genocide right now?
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff happening.
But why does it always? They say no Jews, no news.
It's true. It's true that people like to guise this under because America is giving money towards the war. We're angry about our government participating. Being part of the genocide, and if you're listening to me, I'm doing air quotes.
Yeah.
But it's bullshit. It's absolute bullshit. It is constantly blame the Jews, blame Israel. It's been that way, and the one thing I hate online is when people who are anti-Israel, anti-Jew are like, you always talk about the past, you always talk about how you guys are hated. I'm like I'm 2 generations from grandparents that survived Auschwitz.
Yeah.
They had 3 sons that were all killed in Auschwitz.
Yeah.
This is not past. I'm still alive knowing my grandparents are not alive, but I knew them. I saw the fucking tattoos on their arms. My great uncle, my grandmother, I saw it on there. It's not the past. But even if it was just the past, this is still something that lives in us.
It's generational trauma.
It's completely
for real. It's in our DNA.
It completely.
And that's why I think October 7th triggered this anxiety in all of us, because it's something we pushed down, but we were like, it's happening. It's like it almost felt like, oh shit.
Yeah, because we always knew about it. As we talked about, I think on the first episode, is that we were in like this nice flowery anyway, a nice beautiful point in the Jewish life where there wasn't so much going on in terms of anti-Semitism, at least openly, and then all of a sudden October 7th happened, and then all of this happened. But yeah, because it's been in us. We are a people of just constant
battling. Basically always kind of having to fight for ourselves. We fight for ourselves. We fight against haters. We fight against our stomachs that always hurt us. Well, that's just you.
That's not just me. I guarantee a lot of other people who are watching, the 97%.
We really should be
like,
we should be sponsored by X-Lax and Gas-X and Lactaid.
Again, another episode, we can go over
all the
ailments that I have.
The whole episode is just on ulcerative colitis.
I can do an entire episode of ulcerative colitis. I can do it.
Wow, that's going to be a winner. Our best performing episode yet.
Yes.
I'll do a whole episode on, no, I don't really have Jewish ailments.
Yeah.
I just have Jewish anxiety. No, I'll just do a whole episode on my neuroticism.
Perfect. Let's do it.
No, but you're so right. I grew up, we learned the stories and everything. And that's another thing, is the minimizing of the reality. And I think that's the gaslighting. I mean, we joke about gaslighting. It's the most overused word in the English language now, but it's true. Mm-hmm. It's like, don't tell us it's not anti-Semitism. Don't tell us it's just anti-government of Israel. Like, F you. You don't even know what the Israeli government does.
Right. Like they may not like Netanyahu, but they also don't like us. It's really
exactly. It's like, you don't even know what the Israeli government's doing. You just don't like us. Like, you just don't like the Jews. Because if it's about whatever, I mean, the point is, we can call it all the things, but the point was the fact that if you're going to stand up for your people, or if you're not, I don't really want to judge people that don't stand up for it. But if you have a platform and you haven't said anything, I kind of am angry.
Yeah, I get that. And I think if you're completely silent, or have gone, like you said, the other way, and you have a platform and you're Jewish,
it's disheartening.
Yeah, it very much is. But I get the needing to say something and saying it and then sort of moving on, or saying it sporadically and then moving on. I don't necessarily think it needs to be their whole identity like Michael Rapaport has made it, or even the way Debra Messing has made it. And I love the fact that they have done that, because they have they've really been part of our community that has been up there doing that. And I don't necessarily need every single person to do that. But yes, staying completely silent is like you said, disheartening.
It's a choice. It's a choice. It's an active choice to say, I am my silence. It's almost like the silence is louder.
Yeah.
Because all it would take, and I remember Adam Sandler on the 50th anniversary of SNL when he was singing his adorable acoustic song, which was so sweet. And he just said one word about anti-Semitism in that song. And it was about like finding out your favorite singer is anti-Semitic.
Yeah.
Just saying that word meant so much to me. And I'm like, our bar is so fucking low.
I know.
Our bar is so low. And remember during the Oscars when Adrian Brody on his 97th minute of his speech said that one word too, and I was like, ah!
I couldn't hear the rest of the speech because you're yelling so fucking loud.
But this is crazy.
I know.
It's like we're begging for crumbs.
Well, when you have no other land win, and then he says that,
it's crazy.
That's what you do get crazy for it, because you're like, fuck yeah, let's go, and then
every other post you go online and it's like, free Rachel Zegler's voice. Let Snow White talk about Palestine.
I mean, people need to actually see Snow White for any of that to happen.
How many episodes can we talk about Snow White? Let's say that.
Can we not? I don't want to talk about Snow White.
Let's move on from the Snow White.
I agreed.
Okay, we'll move on. But anyway, so the point is, if you are listening to this episode and you have, even if you only have 100 followers on Instagram and you're scared to talk about being Jewish, number one, you can never do anything if it really makes you uncomfortable. But I'm saying it's really not something to be scared of if it's in your heart. If it's deep in your heart and you feel like it's passionate, it's something that I'm the most proud of, I think. Talking
awesome.
about being Jewish, because I never want to grow older. They always say, like, what would you do if you were in the Holocaust, right? Like, what would you do if you had to hide Anne Frank?
Right.
What would you do? And there's all these people, so weird, on Threads, Threads like Twitter.
Which you're too much on.
No, Threads just takes all my Instagram posts and immediately puts it on there.
Yeah, but you're looking at it too much.
It's my job. I have to engage with people, but the people on Threads...
Your job sucks.
Yeah, it does. The people on Threads are horrible.
I know they are. That's why I don't go on there.
No, they're the most evil, anti-Semitic, hateful people on Threads.
Yeah.
And they like burning Teslas, which is psycho. If you agree with burning Teslas, we're not on the same planet.
There's a lot of weird shit.
No,
that.
I can get behind certain things, but burning Teslas, you need help.
What does that even prove?
That you're crazy.
Okay, fair.
Like, there's a lot of ways to show anger in the world, but like burning an innocent person's car is not okay.
No, we can get in.
Okay,
a lot of thoughts,
but that's not a Jewish topic, so let's stay on topic. That's our other show, just Tesla and me. that's next week.
Cross off the Jew and write Tesla.
Just car and me.
Just car and me. We'll
that's
talk about different cars.
That's with you and Lance. Okay. So on Threads, there was this post going viral. If I could, I would hide if I was given the opportunity, I would hide Anne Frank.
Okay.
And the reason why it came up in my feed is because someone that I follow, like a big Jewish advocate, commented and said, "Are you sure about that? Because every single one of your posts is free Palestine."
Right.
So it's like, people are a little confused, right? People are a little confused. They think that they're doing the right thing, and then they're saying that they would hide a Jewish, person. The point is, I truly believe that it's going to all shake out at some point. And I know in my heart, I believe that I want to know that at the end of the day, I said something. I protected, our people. I stood up for our people. I wanted really strongly to make other Jews feel safer and teach other people. A lot of people on Daily Dose of Donna's side said I didn't know anything about Judaism. I didn't even know any Jewish people until I started listening to your podcast.
But isn't that why we're doing this, right? I mean, it's not... We got to work on our 97% 3% ratio, because
we'll get 2 more Hindus.
Okay, good.
Okay.
So I think the one of the biggest things that I wanted to do is not just talk to other Jews and talk about how we are, it's great to be Jewish, but I also wanted to talk to people who didn't know about being Jewish.
Yeah.
And getting that perspective out there so they know that we're not terrible people. Yeah, we may have different views on some things, but like this is who we are. We're fun, ridiculous people. Some leave their nuts at home, like Donna.
We're kid friendly.
Oh Jesus, they're kid friendly. Some have very hairy chests, but this is who we are.
We sing like Broadway stars. Well, he does. Come on.
Let's go back to the beginning.
Do a little ditty.
Oh, good Lord.
Oh, we don't say his name anymore.
Oh, I didn't say it. I didn't say it.
Don't say it 3 times or else he appears.
Or he appears with some baby oil.
He just pops up.
Pops up with baby oil.
He's like the genie.
Oh, God.
In a baby oil
the
bottle.
The worst fucking genie ever.
All right. Well, you guys, thank you so much.
We ended on that. Great. Great job, Donna.
In that happy way.
Yes.
Well, if there's, if you guys have any way to connect with us, if you want to connect with us, make sure to subscribe over on YouTube.
Yes.
YouTube is Just Jew and Me, and then of course on Instagram at Just Jew and Me. Right? It's Just Jew and Me.
Yes.
And then you can also follow both of us. All the stuff is in the show notes, all of our information. And then just let us know if you have any topics you want us to cover, or we'll take any of your questions. We can do live questions.
Shit, let's do it.
Oh my God, we can read live questions like, hey, I want to get married, but my partner is not Jewish. What should I do? And I would be the perfect person to answer that because I married someone who's not Jewish.
It's true. I want to get married, but my partner's not circumcised. What do I do?
I
we have a bris before the marriage.
And have him circumcise himself?
Yeah, I mean, listen, no, I didn't say himself. He could get it done by somebody. Is that how it's done?
A pachu.
What is this, a gun that you're shooting at your...
I use like a bow and arrow.
All right. Thank you, guys. It's been fun.
Thanks, guys. Have a good one. See you next week.
Bye.